Okay, we should be live. And this time, hopefully, the microphone works because last time it wasn't working and I recorded everything on my computer microphone, which is not good. My computer's microphone is a little bit tinny, sounds to me anyway. Upon reviewing the last live stream, sounded kind of dull. Lithic Man is here. Hello. JF Baird is here. Hello, hello. You guys are right on time. Just waiting. Bren is here. Roy, Lithic Man, says, how's it going? It's been a bit since I tuned in. It's going well. I'll be on the road this week. So I'm not gonna have a channel news today. I've got to pack up stuff. Matthias is here. Frodo Joe is here. Bushy. Roy says hello. Styley Designs is here. John Turner is here. All righty. Very good. I finalized it. I'm going to go to the Coshocton Knap-in, right? That's where I'm headed this weekend. I wasn't sure if I was going to go, but I am going to go, and I'm I'm going to finish up my packing right after this live stream and go to the post office and then head out. This is in Ohio, right? Let me see. What is the address? Mr. Knap-in's addresses has no address. Hold on. Lithic Man says, what's on the napping agenda today? Actually, I don't know. I just threw everything in the box. Let's see. Yeah, I threw everything in the box and I don't have the box with me. So I'm going to have to search through the stuff I have in the house. I don't know what's on the agenda today yet. But if you're new, the first hour is nothing but chat, and the second hour is when they start napping. So you can come back in an hour if you like. Aaron Wilson is here. So I just say hi to everybody. We all chat. We all get to know what's going on with each other, update each other. Gulf Coast Napping is here. Awesome. A lot of people are here. Anyway, I'm going to Flint Ridge. What is the... I should know the name of this one by heart. The Coshocton Fairgrounds or something like that. I should know this by heart, but I don't. So I got to look at my own list of Knap-ins. I plugged it into my GPS. I'll be going to Ohio. Yeah, Flint Ridge Knap-in. This is the August or the fall Knap-in for Flint Ridge. Okay. It's right here. Right there. This one right there. See? Flint Ridge Knap-in, Coshocton County Fairgrounds, 724 South 7th Street, Coshocton, Ohio. And those are the contact numbers. And those are the dates. Okay, I will be there, but I might not be there the whole time. Okay, if you get there Friday, you'll probably see me on Friday. I'll be there all day Friday for sure. Maybe Saturday. And maybe Sunday. It depends on the weather and what I've got done. I'll probably chip all the items that I need for the auction at the Knap-in. So if I don't have them all done, I'll stay longer at the Knap-in. So, but if you're there on Friday, I'll be there all day Friday. Okay? And I didn't announce it ahead of time because I wasn't sure if I was going to go. For me, it's like a 10-hour drive without stops. If I stop, it's like 12 hours. For some reason, I'll stop for 15 minutes and then it'll take an hour. What? What happened? What did I do? Yeah, Frodo Joe says it's at the Coshocton Fairgrounds. Yeah, I just gave out the address, so it is the Coshocton County Fairgrounds, 724 South 7th Street. And it's in the list of my Knap-ins. Okay. And I updated the list to have the current dates and contact numbers and all that. Okay. So I know it's short notice, but I'll probably be doing this every time I go to a Knap-in. I'll be giving you short notice because I'm not exactly sure about how it's going to go as far as my transportation and all that good stuff. Ask Eric, what was that green rock you bought from him? Yeah, I can ask him, but I'll forget again, right? So I need to write it down somewhere. It's a Mexican rock. It's Mexican green something something. It's not Mexican green obsidian because I already have some of that. It's not obsidian. It's like an opal. Very rare. It's hard to get. I think you actually have to travel into Mexico yourself, pick some up, because it's probably available on public land, right? That's what I'm assuming. Or you pay to get in to this or to get access to it, because I'm assuming it's of interest to rock hounds as well for jewelry. Or you go to a place where you can buy chunks of it in Mexico, because a lot of times they have little shops and little street side stands where you can buy stuff in the raw state. I'm assuming that they would do that and then bring it back yourself. I think that's why it tends to be rare. If the guys that are collecting it have to go themselves, it costs money to go get them. I think he said it cost him several $100s last time he did a run to Mexico. Several hundred, like $700 just to travel expense. Let's see. Lithic Man says, I was going to go to some Knap-ins this month, but life came up, so I'll go next year. Yeah. Fertile Joe says, I'd love to go there. I haven't been to a Knap-in in over 6 days now. Also, fellow Royce here, he says, hello, also fellow Nappers, how are you doing today? Everybody say hi to everybody. Yes, yes. We are all a community here now. We're all getting to know who we are, okay, which is a good thing, because the more people we know, even if it's only online, the easier it is to access information and materials. It's a great thing. Buckskin NYB is here. Marty is here. Hello, Patrick and fellow Nappers. Matthias says, I was sure at least one of the bifaces when it was going to break. Happy it all survived, though. Yeah, it all survived. Matthias is from Denmark. He sent me a box of a bunch of bifaces, and none of them broke, which means that he packed the box very well. And I've got your box I'm sending out today, Matthias. Right here, look. All right, I'll get it. This, I'm sending you this. I'm not going to show the address or anything, but I've got this all, the customs forms filled out and everything. I'm going to go to the post office right after the live stream and send you the tools. But I've got more stuff on order for you. As soon as the rods come in, copper rods are getting expensive. But anyway, don't matter. Don't worry about the cost. I'm just saying for you guys that are going to order this stuff, copper rods are getting very expensive. Either that or we're on an upswing of the prices of copper. Because I paid twice as much. No, not quite twice. Maybe 30% more this time than I did last time for copper rods. So I'll send you some copper rods, Matthias, and whatever else we can think of, I'll send to you on the next box. See, I'm sending this box today of this size, 10 by 8 by 5, and the next box, the same size, but with more tools. Yeah. And I can send you antler tools. I can send you billets of antler. I can send you little pressure flakers of antler if you want some of that stuff. Because you sent me some really, really good material. All right, we're doing a trade. Okay. Prairie Ghost Ken is here. Exploration ROX is here. Hey, Pat. Hey, everybody. Mike Mason's here. Lithic Man says, I'm going to do some Flintknapping for the local native tribe on the 4th of September. I'm excited. My buddies will be there as well. So basically, it's a Knap-in. Well, that's awesome. Aaron Wilson says a friend just got back to the U.S. from Europe, brought a piece of Danish flint. Looking forward to napping it. Never napped a piece before. Yeah, the Danish flint is like a higher grade Texas chert. It's very similar looking to Texas Paternalis chert, but it's a higher grade. It's like one step up, in my experience. I haven't tried heat treating the Danish flint yet, but I will eventually. I think it'll take a good heat. It'll be. I'm assuming it's going to have a good result with the heat because the Texas stuff, which is very similar to this Danish stuff, also responds well to heat. I'm assuming though. Okay. Matthias says it looks great, on the picture. I'm very happy about it. I'll see what I can think of and send you a Gmail. That's perfect. Yeah, whatever else you can think of, if I have it, I'll send it. Alina is here. Hello, hello. Awesome. Jesse is here. Okay, so I will not be doing a channel news today. Okay, because I got to head out. I'm be on the road. As soon as this live stream is over, I'm packing my final items, like all my napping stuff that I'm using right now, and going to the post office really fast, and then heading out. I'm going to Ohio to the Flint Ridge Knap-in in the Coshocton Fairgrounds in Ohio. Okay, I'll be there all day Friday for sure, but I'm not sure about Thursday. I'm not sure about Saturday, and I might be there on Sunday. We'll see. It depends on how much work I get done and how I'm feeling and the weather. Yeah, but I'll for sure be there Friday all day, so we can chit chat on Friday. But like on Saturday, if I'm there Saturday, I'm going to be very, very busy chipping. I'm trying to get as much out as possible. I'll try to buy some good stuff over there too. Lithic Man says, definitely hit up the Nethers farm. Yeah, I was thinking about that too. Yep. Mikael says, Patrick, I sent you some color pics for your email. Did you get it? I don't know. Let me see. Marty says, super chat. He says, gas money, $19.99. Thank you very much. Awesome. Thanks, Marty. I can use it. Yes. Or for rocks. I'm going to buy lots of rocks. This time around, I put a dent in my savings account when I took out the money I'm going to use for rocks this time around. A noticeable dent. You can see a noticeable dent in my savings account. That $20 is going to help. Yeah. Marty is the man. He's been sending a lot of you guys the Flint Ridge stuff too, so he's extremely generous. Yes. Flint Ridge, he's been sending you Knife River Flint. I'm looking for Flint Ridge. It's on my mind right now. I'm looking for Flint Ridge stuff when I go to the Flint Ridge Knap-in. All right, so who else we have in the house? Sal is in the house. A Ron is here. What in the wide world of flicking is going on? No flicking yet. That's the next hour. I chat the first hour, the next hour. Just if you're new and you're waiting for me to start Flintknapping, I don't start Flintknapping until the next hour. Okay. Kiefer says, question for everyone and especially Patrick. How many different kinds of obsidian is out there? Holy moly. You want to know an exact number? I think there's 261 types. And then the next question is, what are they? No, I'm guessing. I'm thinking there's over 200 different varieties. I'm guessing. That are noticeable. Now, if you I'm generalizing too, because if you're an archaeologist, you're going to be able to identify each formation that has obsidian by a signature of some sort using the new technology. New technology now allows the archaeologists and geologists to identify obsidian from specific sources, like from a certain mountain or volcanic flow. There's got to be hundreds of those different flows. Even though the obsidian is similar, there's still a different signature for the chemical composition because each obsidian has different minerals in it mixed in with it. Okay. That's why you get reds, black, smoky. The clear ones, I don't know. That's probably pretty pure silica, I'm assuming. But you get all kinds of other stuff mixed in. And you get bubbles in some of them. There are all kinds of different consistencies as far as really delicate snap and halfish stuff to very flexible high grade stuff. There's some obsidian that crushes it just if you look at it wrong, and some obsidian that has edges that are very strong. So not only do you have the identifier for the formation as far as the chemical composition, but you have different grades in how workable it is, even though it has the exact same chemical composition because of the rate of temperature loss during the formation of the obsidian. As the temperature decreases, it becomes obsidian, right? But that temperature reduction varies between different areas of the formation. So in one area, it could be a really tough, flexible obsidian. In another area of the formation, it's all cruddy. But it has the same chemical signature. Let me see here. Mike Mason says, Keith, how many ways can a crystalline structure be oriented? Yeah. Matthias says, how do I join the community page? Well, you have to go to my channel. Like, if you find Jack Crafty Flintknapping, the way I do it to find my channel, I just click on that. And now I'm on my channel. When you see the glass arrowheads, you're on my channel, right? And then you should see a little button, Visit Community. Right there, that big long button. And then you hit that button. And then you're in the community. And then you hit Newest. And you'll see the newest. Ferdo Joe's got the newest 28 minutes ago. All right? That's how you do it on the phone. Now, for some reason, YouTube is better on the phone than it is on the computer. That's just the way they get it set up. If you have an Android phone, your phone works better than the computer. If you have an iPhone and a Mac, I don't know how that. I think it probably works better. It figures because I don't like using Macs or iPhones. Keepers says, would obsidian just be formed by a volcano? Yeah. Well, if it's a lava flow, it may or may not be a large volcano. It may just be a flow. You know, not a spectacular eruption or anything. It might just be like a burp, so to speak. You know, but it flows out. So I guess that's a volcano. It doesn't have to be an explosive event, right? Aaron Wilson, at my obsidian quarry alone, there's at least a dozen different varieties. Yeah. See, there you go. Bushy says, I got some obsidian that looks silver with black lines. It looks cool. Yeah, there's some obsidian that looks like metal. It has tones of metal like silver or gunmetal gray. It looks metallic. Some obsidians look metallic. Yep. Marty says, I sent some rock to John Tuttle yesterday. He said he hasn't had any of the Knife River flint for 30 years. Yeah, I saw that post. Marty. He says it's going to be like meeting an old friend again after he gets it. Yeah, I saw that post. It's awesome. JF Baird. They say there is no known number of how many types of obsidian there is. That's what they say. Deadhold Leather. Haven't seen you before. Let's see. Can I ask a question on arrow point names and the name being associated to the group that made it? My question is, did groups literally only make the exact same point every time, or were they random? Random. They had an idea of the type of points that they like to make, but if you examine the archaeological record, there was some variations in the points. They're not always exactly the same. You've got the higher grade ones, and then you got the lower grade ones in most sites. And some are what they call unclassified or uncharacterized, which means they're just made expediently or by people who really didn't care about a certain shape. And we don't have certain arrowhead types assigned to certain tribes unless they still used stone after European contact. Then we do have evidence of tribes using certain types. Which ones are they? Well, a lot of California arrowhead types can be assigned to tribes because they were still using those stone arrowheads after European contact. Okay. The further you go west, the more common that is. Especially on the West Coast, they kept a lot of their traditional weapons and skills on the West Coast. The least number of arrowheads associated with tribes data is on the East Coast, where the first contacts were made. Native Americans tended to adopt firearms and European tools very quickly. Okay. And the longer they were in contact with Europeans, the less they would use of their own materials. If you want, just ask a specific question, because sometimes we can't answer. Like, what did the Sioux Indians use for stone arrowheads? We don't know that one. But if you ask, what did the Wintu tribe out in California or wherever they were from, what did they use? Well, we've got points that are actually called Wintu points. So we know that. Apaches, Indians, there are different tribes of Apaches. And, there are White Mountain Apaches, there are Jicarilla Apaches. There were, let's see, there was at least 4 different, those are the only 2 I can come up with on the top of my head. Off the top of my head, there are different tribes that you can assign arrowheads types to those particular Apache tribes. I don't know why I can't remember the other 2 that I was thinking. I can see them in my peripheral vision in my brain, but if I look at them, they disappear. You know how it goes, right? With me. Anyway, if you ask for a specific tribe, we might be able to assign a specific arrowhead to it according to the data that exists. Okay. Mike Mason says it would be cool to be able to manipulate obsidian formations for experimentation. Yeah, I think they've done that already for obsidian. There's a lot of data on obsidian. What did I miss? I missed a ton of chat here. I didn't even see the chat moving. Yeah, I'm gonna heat treat the Danish flint eventually. I would like to see the results too. Matthias says he's very excited to see how the heat treat works out. Let's see. Marty says, I don't know how to make it an even amount, so 99 cents makes for gas prices, I guess. I guess the super chat doesn't allow you to donate a even amount. Kiefer says, I'd love to see pictures of each color of Obsidian. Hundreds of pictures? You want to see hundreds? And yeah, okay, you probably do want to see hundreds of pictures, but no one's going to want to take them all. Mac Bales is here. Howdy. Weather at Coshocton next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Low 70s, low upper 40s. See Roy Moore for Great Flint Ridge. Okay, I will do that. It sounds like good weather. Good weather for sleeping, camping overnight. Okay, so let me see if I can catch up. Let's see. Ed Gould says, which one is the brown translucent flint? KRF or FRF? The brown translucent is KRF, Knife River Flint. I don't know what FRF is. Deadhold Leather says, I make random points based on the outcomes of what happens to work and what breaks or flakes off unexpectedly. I would assume the ancients would have done a variety of point types. No, they didn't do a variety of point types like that. They had a point type in mind, and if it broke, they tossed it and started another one. And if it didn't work out, they toss it or give it to their child or whatever for them to mess around with. You know what I'm saying? They were going after certain styles. There would be variations in that style, but usually what happens is as you get better at Flintknapping, you realize that if you produce the same type over and over and over again, you get better at it. And there's less breakage. So eventually you're only going to break 1 out of 10. Whereas if you're just doing it randomly and stuff, you don't really care about breakage. So you just make different sizes of all kinds of different things. Okay, so your skill doesn't really advance. So what they would do apparently was they would have an image in their mind, and regardless of what the rock type was or what the rock type did or what the animal was or how big or small the animal was that they're hunting, they would have a certain type that they had in mind because they knew that if they just focus on a certain type, they would get better at making that certain type and they'd waste less material. Even though that they would waste it for sure, because if it broke, they just tossed it. Even though they could make 2 small points out of it, they would toss it and make the larger point. Okay? But even so, it was still more efficient than trying to make all kinds of different styles. Mikael, I don't know if the pictures came in my email. I don't know. Okay, yes. They did. Here they are. So this is Mikael from Denmark sending you some Danish artifacts color. Yes, they did show up. Okay, let me share what's going on here. Make sure I don't reveal any email. Mikael sent me, I can't see the colors that well. But this is the Danish flint colors. Come on, scroll. Come on. I see it. Okay, and some of these are axes. Okay, that's very interesting. A lot of grays. Yeah. Okay. What is that dark one there? Is that just a piece of wood? No. These are like the triangular cross-section points. Okay, very good. I did get them. That'll come in handy when I make some Danish style points. Frodo Joe says I can't get on his community with my Chromebook. Yeah, it's an issue. It's a problem. You need to use your phone. Matthias says, oh, great. I have never tried my phone before. I'll start to post some of my points and daggers in there. Awesome. Ed Gould says, I think groups had their favorite styles, but they would do whatever the stone would let them. No, not really. They would have an idea of what they wanted, and sometimes they would go far and wide to find the stone they needed to make what they wanted. Okay. Sometimes they would go to great lengths to get the stone that they wanted for a certain purpose, especially if they were into some ceremonial stuff with their knives, stone knives. They would go to certain places to get it. They would use a lot of local stone, yes, but they wouldn't let the stone dictate what they wanted to make. And they wouldn't let the animal dictate what they wanted to make. The way the human brain works, apparently, is if it's got an idea, that's what it sticks with. Okay? And they borrow ideas from each other too. And a lot of this stuff was also used for warfare. So some of the designs were meant for being very difficult to remove from the wounds if they're fighting humans. They'd be designed to break off inside the wound, or they'd have serrations on there to make the arrowhead more painful when it's in there, and that kind of thing. They would not let the stone, the animal, or the circumstances dictate the style. Okay? It dictated the style to a certain extent because sometimes a certain type of rock cannot be notched. I mean, it really, really cannot be notched. So they put little bitty notches or they didn't notch it at all. In that case, yes, but the overall shape, similar to what they had in mind or what the next tribe is using. They tried to copy the next tribe's arrowheads, except they couldn't put notches in it, so they didn't put notches in it. Because their stone that's local wasn't as good as the stone across the way over there. They went by ideas in most cases. Yeah. Fertile Joe says, when I was in Wyoming fishing a long time ago, there was a large black rocks along the creek, conchoidal. I thought it was coal, but now I think it was obsidian. Probably so. Mike Mason, DHL with the number of tools you may need. What's to say if it wasn't turning out? It wasn't repurposed. Well, it depends on what it looks like. A lot of people back in the day didn't flint knap. So if I broke a tool and I'm like one of 3 flint knappers in a group of 30, let's say, people would probably pick up thin flakes from the debitage rather than my broken point to cut meat or to scrape hides. They would just pick up something out of the debitage. Okay. Now, if they could flint knap, they could take what I have messed up and make something out of it and repurpose it that way. But according to the evidence, it looks like points that could have been, broken stuff that could have been made into something else was not made into something else. We see broken stuff all over the place that could have been made into something else. Because if you look at certain cultures, they've got, and I've got broken points that are broken in manufacture that could have been made into a scraper that also existed at that site. But they didn't do it. I've got broken stuff, a broken blade, and a scraper from the same site. The broken blade could have been made into the scraper, but it wasn't. What does that tell you? It tells you they were not repurposed after breaking. They would toss it. Bad luck, bad mojo, or whatever it was that prevented them from repurposing it. So repurposing is not the default. It is the exception. According to the data, that's not my idea. How do I know? I've actually got artifacts from one particular site, a bunch of different artifacts, and certain things could be made into certain other things, and they weren't. So what does that tell you? Let's see. I mean, you can argue with the evidence. People do it all the time. It's probably one of the greatest hobbies on the internet is to argue with the evidence and say, no, I know it's evidence, but I know better than that. I know better than evidence because I can think about other possibilities. I can think it into existence because I'm such a good thinker. Okay, you're a good thinker, but you like to think in fantasies. Okay. I'm sorry to tell you. Let's see. Ralph Snyder's here. Hello, hello. Let me see here. Okay, I keep missing a bunch of chat because it is not moving. Dang it. Matthias says, have you unwrapped the rest? I have not unwrapped all the rest of the rocks. I got to wait till I come back. David Eldridge, Flint Life. Hello, hello. I missed your entrance. Buckskin NYB or Marty says, would you be willing to adjust your auctions to format where the two highest bids would then bid until one person says they are out? I could. It would take more time. What you're meaning is what they call an open auction or a soft closing, not an open auction. It's a soft closing instead of a hard closing. A lot of people will do the soft closing, which means that you can continue to bid after the auction closes so that you can get more money, basically. So what happens is after the auction closes, what I could do is wait 3 minutes, and then look at the auction again. If in those 3 minutes there's still bids, I extended another 3 minutes and another 3 minutes. And they're still bidding, I can extend it as long as you want. And I just look at it every 3 minutes. If there's nobody that bids except for one person and that bid lasts 3 minutes, let's say, or 2 minutes or whatever, and at the 3 minute mark, if no one else bids, then you're the winner. It's a soft closing. So you can continue to bid, and I just check it every 3 minutes. Other people do this. But you know what happens? It can extend the auction time, and I'd be sitting there looking at, seeing, okay, who won? Because everyone bids at the last second. Okay, who won? And I got to do this bidding at the last second war every 3 minutes. It could last 30 minutes of just sitting there trying to decide, okay, did you get that in? Or is it too close and now I gotta extend it again? I thought about that and I said, no, I'm not gonna do that way. Yeah. It just extends the time and the hassle. You've just got to try to outguess the other guy. How much, or you can just type in, how much are you willing to bid? Because you can talk to each other in the bid section and say something like, I don't know, whatever. You could say, I've seen guys say, I'd like to, for example, this is a little bit off topic, but there was one guy that says, I would like to buy this for my son because he likes this particular type of point or whatever. I think it was one guy that wanted this for his father or something because of a certain situation, and the other bidders stopped bidding. Now, one way to make sure that you win is you can enter any number of bids you want. You can, let's say it starts to get up over $100 for a particular item, and you want to be able to win this item no matter who else bids before the closing. You can bid 105, 110, 120, 130, 100. You can bid as many bids as you want. I'm only going to charge you the bid that beats the other guy. Okay? Because, this has happened before. Some guys will bid 3 or 4 bids at the very end before the closing. Let's just say it's 100. They'll bid 100, 105, 110, 115, 120. They'll put in those bids just before closing, and the other guy might say, I'm out. But I'll look and see, okay, which bid beat the other guy, and I'll just take the one that's closest. I don't charge you for your last bids. You don't have to pay that huge amount at the end. Let's just say if it's a lot more than what you would need to bid or beat the other guy. I don't know how to say this in a clear manner, but you can bid as many times as you want before the closing. Okay? And I'll only charge you what beat the other guy. Okay? I will not do a soft close on my auctions because it just becomes a nightmare. It's a hard close at 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Yeah, I've lost some points to some bids I didn't see until after 8. Yeah, that's the weird thing about YouTube. It's not perfect, but it's like a gamble, and it's if you're going to be, let's just say that you're going to be winning every single item that you are wanting. You're not giving the other people a chance, basically. The chaos kind of gives other people a chance to win the item too. Okay. Have been situations where there's a couple of guys that they're winning everything of a particular style or a particular type of point or whatever, and it doesn't give the other guys a chance. So there's that. I've had people ask me on the side, I don't care how much it costs. I want that item. Whatever someone else bids, I'm going to bid more. I said, you just got to put it in the auction. I can't do this on the side. He said, but I'll bid. It doesn't matter how much it costs. I want that particular item. I've had people ask me that. I said, the best thing I can do for you is just to bid at the auction and put in as many bids as you want. And I only charge you what beats the other guy. Yeah. We have to give everyone a chance, basically, also to win. That's why I'm doing auctions instead of side jobs. Let's see here. Ralph says, I know that green point drew a lot of attention in the last auction. Anyone know what that alien green space rock is? Somebody knows the answer to that. Yeah. Let's see. Scott Lauer says, hey, Pat and Chippers. Bren says, that's really awesome. You are going to Coshocton. Yes, I am. Ed Gould says, FRF was Flint River Flint. Patrick. Okay, so the brown one is not Flint River Flint. And it's not Flint River Flint. It's Flint River Chert. That's where you get me mixed up. Knife River Flint is Flint, but Flint River is Chert. Let's see. Pushy says, Ralph, I had a chance to buy green rock like Patrick, but I passed. Yeah, Pushy doesn't know what it's called either. I just can't remember. Mike says, I tried napping yesterday for the first time in a while. My ankle is still broken. The toes went numb holding my Ishi under my knee. I don't want to Kelly strap it. Dang it. Ralph says, Patrick, do you get out Do you give out my info to Mike? Yes, I think I gave your info to Mike, Ralph. If not, you can send me another reminder. Let's see. Danny Moore is here, peeking in at work. Hello, all. Hello, hello. Ralph Snyder. I'll check. Okay. Mike Tufts. Hello, Patrick and everybody. Hey, Mike. Mike Tufts. Matthias says the orange one was originally a gray as well. I see. Let's see. The orange ones were originally gray as well. Okay, so there's an orange patina on some of the artifacts. Clint Evans is here. What's up, Patrick and fellow nappers? Awesome. We got a lot of people in the house today. Jeremy is here. What's up, nappers? Who all is going to be at Coshocton? I will be there on Friday for sure. Let's see. Clint says, Patrick, you said you were needing some white chert flint. I was wondering if Keokuk would be suitable. No, it's not white enough. I've got lots of Keokuk, but it's not pure white. I need something like the pure white. Okay, the name disappeared again on me. Can't remember now. I mean, I can see it. I can't identify it. There's a white chert, Burlington. Burlington is white enough for what I need. I just can't get good Burlington. It's all kind of cruddy every time I get some. And if I do get Burlington, it sometimes it's heat treated and it's got colors in it, because those are the ones they take the time to heat treat, the fancy colored Burlington. But I need pure white Burlington. That would do for what I need, or any other kind of white shirt. But it's got to be pure white. Why? Because I'm working on something that needs exact duplicate material. At least the color. Okay, Roy says Chiricahua, White Mountain, Mescalero. Yeah, but there's also Jicarilla, Apache, and what's the other one? Kiowa Apache. Yeah. So many different Apache tribes, and they did have different arrowheads associated with those tribes. A lot of them still use stone points even after European contact. Let's see. Okay, let me go to the end of the chat because for some reason I can't keep up with the chat. Jesse says, I didn't get to partake in the auction. I was bummed. I spent so much money getting the kiddos checked into college in Tucson. Payday is near. I will hit the next auction. Last one seemed crazy. Yeah. Clint Evans says, I got it. I'll see what I can do. Okay. Sal, Patrick has that guy's address. Red-Eyed Patriot is here. Okay, whose address do I have? Time to go to the hospital. Y'all can come. Mike's in the hospital? Is it Flint Ridge Churt? Yeah, Flint Ridge Churt. Yes. Ask Ed Gould. Most of what we call Flint in the United States is actually chert. Chert forms in limestone. Flint forms in chalk. If it's got a chalk cortex, it's flint. If it's got a limestone cortex, it's chert. Matthias Melander says, we also have some white flint here. I know of a field where they have plenty in nice quality. Well, then, awesome. Yeah, Mike Tuff says there should be some kind of priority to people that are coming in the chat or channel members in the auction. Yeah, I don't know. I want to make it fair to everybody. I don't want to favor any particular people, any particular group in the auction. I want it open to everybody, even if you never participate in any of the auction, in any of the chats or comment or anything like that. TJ's New Life says green bloodstone. No, it's not green bloodstone. The green stuff that I made that at one point from. Let's see. Yeah, the sniping on the auction doesn't get people angry. But like I said, you can put in as many bids as you want, and I'm only going to charge you what beats the other guy. Yeah, I've had people that would email me during the auction and say, I'm gonna spend it. I don't care how much I spend on this point. I want it. I can't do anything for you. No, I'm not gonna cheat. That's cheating. To say that, okay, that's, I'll let you have it. You're basically bribing me, right? And some people want me to bid for them, which is fine, but I'm not going to bid closer than 5 minutes before the end of the auction. Like with the last 5 minutes, I'm not going to put any bids for you. It's going to have to be before 5 minutes before the end of the auction. If the auction ends at 9, I can bid for you up until 8:55. I'm not going to be doing the last minute bidding because it's not fair. If I start doing unfair things like favoring chat people, favoring subscribers, doing deals on the side, it's all people will see that and your auctions are shady, dude. Dude, your auctions are shady. You get bribes, you favor certain people, you're trying to make a lot of money on the side by being sneaky and extending the auction so that you get more money. And you'll just look at other auctions that do these kinds of things, and you'll see that people just they stay away from those. Okay? I want it to be fair. Buckskin NYB says, okay, thanks for the bidding information. You're welcome. Yeah. I want people to be happy in the bidding. It bugs me when they're not happy. Yeah. If you guys are not happy, it does bug me. But fair is fair. Fair isn't always nice though. I got the most angry I've ever been in my life on eBay by losing a bid. The most angry I've ever been at anything besides personal stuff online. The most disturbing thing that happened to me online is when I lost a bid on eBay. It was an artifact. It was actually a bow and arrow set, real artifact, 3 arrows and 1 bow, and I was going to bid my whole paycheck on that particular item, and I was winning until somebody outbid me 2 seconds before closing. 2 seconds. I saw. And what he was using was some sort of software program that would bid 2 seconds before closing automatically. And that got me more angry than anything else since then and before then. I was sniped. Yeah. So I understand sniping is a terrible feeling when someone outbids you at the last minute or you can't get in your bids. I understand that very much. Mike Mason says, Patrick, you make it sound like you're going into Illinois politics. I don't understand what that means. Mm. Mm. Let's see. Somebody wants to exchange addresses here. Let's see. Scott Lauer says, Sal, can I get your address off of Patrick? Is it okay? I got to remember that. I mean, I got to make sure. But you might be joking because you probably already have Sal's email. Yeah, you should be able to contact Sal. He's got his email on his channel, his email address. Matthias says, when we set the clock 1 hour back, I hope to be able to make the auction more often. Okay. Mm-hmm. So my explanations sound like I'm trying to be a politician. Do I have, Mike? Are my explanations kind of political, or my rants, or I don't know? You're funny, dude. JF Baird says, so Georgetown is Flint from Edwards Plateau. Is that correct? Yes. It's on the fringe of the Edwards Plateau. It's on the eastern fringe. So it's fringe Flint. Yeah. But yeah, you're correct. It's Flint from the Edwards Plateau. Sal says, I get unhappy when I lose track of time and forget to put in a bid in the auction and lose. Yeah. Roy says, when you mention Apache tribes, you have White Mountain, Mescalero, and Chiricahua as main tribes. Okay. Mike says, is it favoring or rewarding? It's favoring. Yeah. It's not rewarding. If I have a bias, if I tend to give preference, it's favoring. It's not a reward. A reward is awarding it to you with a fair bid. If you bid fairly, it's a fair fight, so to speak. You're fighting over these items in some cases with bids. You want to win in a fair fight. The reward is if you are declared the winner and the fight was fair. That's the reward. You can't consider yourself a fair winner if you've been favored. In other words, if you are thinking that you are winning fairly and being favored, there's a conflict there that you got to resolve because you're not thinking right. Let's see. TJ's New Lives. I remember you saying that guy broke up the bow and arrow set and sold them individually. Yeah, what he did was I followed that buyer, and it turns out he was an artifact reseller. He would buy artifacts on eBay, get them. I guess he would examine them or whatever, and authenticate them, and then resell them. Okay, he'd buy them at a discount, whatever he could at a discount. Sometimes he couldn't, so I would see he did lose some bids on some items that he wasn't really too enthused about, I guess. Anyway, he got the arrow set. It took him about a week of having that set before he put them back on his page or his auction site all separately. So he broke them all up and he made money. He had no interest in the items themselves. He had only interest in making money off the items. So he broke up the set. Now, some people say, well, that's fair. No, because you have information within the set itself that only exists if you have the set. Like, are all the arrows the same spine? And if not, do they all shoot from the bow the same? Because sometimes they might spine out a little bit differently, but they shoot from the bow very similarly because of the dynamics that go on. Okay? You don't know that information unless you have the bow and the arrows to shoot, to play around with. So we lose information from people who sell these things separately, and he broke it up. That made me even more angry when he did that. Yeah. So and then I tried later on, many years later, I tried selling my stuff on eBay, all my old arrowheads. I did put them all up on eBay, and it turns out one of my buyers ripped me off for quite a bit of money because he complained that he didn't get the shipment on time. So I gave him a full refund, and turns out he got the shipment after I gave him the refund, but he never paid me back. Okay, and then eBay can only do so much. I mean, they cannot force collections. They can delete his account or suspend his account, but he can just come up with a new account name. Let's see. Buckskin NYB. Marty says he put his email on his channel. Good idea. Ed Gould says, hey, Roy, the Flint Ridge is like the Lost Souls mine. The Flint River is in Michigan, I think. Yeah. The Flint River. No, it's in, where is he based out of? Georgia? I think Jeff Head is from Georgia. That's where he's getting his Flint River. Knife River Flint is from North Dakota. Yes. Let's see. Mike Mason, fun fact, every single Illinois governor in my lifetime and further back has went to prison for corruption. Our current one got rid of the toilets in his mansion so that way you could save money. I don't know what that means. All righty. Ralph says Killer Cork was bidding on the Ishii point. I backed off, hoping he got it. Unfortunately, someone else won it. Yeah, I need to make some more Ishii points. The solution, I think, is just for me to make more points. Yeah, but that's the most difficult thing for me to do. The more I try, or the harder I try, the more I break, the less I make. I've got to just pace myself. The harder I try, the more I break, the less I make, both in terms of points and money. I lose money and I lose material when I try it too hard. That's just the way it goes. Unfortunately. I wish it wasn't that way. I don't know why I had to pick Flintknapping. I mean, I enjoy the primitive skills stuff in general, and Flintknapping is one of those things. But it's just highly probabilistic. It's a gamble, basically. Let's see here. Mike Tuff says, that sounds like a political answer. No, it's not. Scott Lauer says, see you guys. I got to go out. Take care. All right, Scott. Ed Gould says, I got a lot of auction points and boxes. Yeah. He's purchased quite a few. Yeah. Mike Tuff says, take care, Scott. Take care, Scott. Those were some awesome points you sent to Valve. I thought those were some of Patrick's auction items. Those were some awesome points you sent to Ralph. Okay. Let's see. Ken says, I need to learn some of the basic point styles to try. Yes. Roy, says also to the powwow in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Okay, where am I? Let's see. Ed Gould says, so what's the reason they would call Flint Ridge or Flint River after a church? It's because of location. Location names aren't always accurate. You know, they could say, Round Hill. That's Round Hill over there. But that's not a hill, and it's not round. The location name is Round Hill, but it's a mountain, and it's not round. It's pointy. As an example, so that's why rocks are named in confusing ways, because they name it after a location, but the location isn't accurate. It's not named perfectly accurately. And we've got things around here called mountains, and they're not mountains, they're hills. Such and such a mountain. Yeah, but it's only like, what, 3,000 feet? It's not a mountain, it's a hill. Yeah, but it's called Zebedebeda Mountain, for an example. So they'll call different stones Flint. And I've seen a place that's called something Flint, and there's no Flint on that site, like in Texas. They'll call it's like White Flint Park or something, and there's no White Flint at the park. Flint River, Michigan, is named for the Bayport Church found in that area. See? Let's see. Okay, I'm going to start napping here. Alina left. JJ's here. Good evening, Mr. Flintstone, says JJ. Alina has left the house. I didn't see the goodbye. If you have a question, please ask before the end of the live stream after I stop napping. Right? I'm going to start napping, and when I stop napping, I'll be able to answer questions again, if there's any questions. If not, don't worry. Sometimes people don't like my answers anyway. Sometimes, most of the time, dude, because you're not serious. You don't talk all archaeological or nothing. I don't know if I should take you serious. Yeah, you don't take me serious. Don't take anyone serious. It's a good habit to get into. I want you to get into the good habit of not trusting anybody. Yeah, especially me. If I can make you not trust me, that's good, because then you start getting used to not trusting. You shouldn't just take people's word for things. Gotta test things out. Yeah, get into the habit of testing things out. And don't take people's word for it. And don't think just because they're a cool guy on the internet that they have all the answers. All righty? All right. What do we got today? I just picked something out at random. So randomly, wait a second, I got stuff in the way. Let's see. Still in the way? Oh, well. I've got, what is this? Jefferson City. And I've got some Flint River from Jeff Head. Jefferson City, or I'm assuming this is from Jeff Head, but I got all these from Mac. Who did I get it from? I can't remember now who sent me this. Was it Mac Bales? Dang it. Okay, hold on. No, it was Jim Main. This is from Jim Main's box. Jim Main sent me these. Yeah. Okay. So what am I going to do first? Let me try to Jefferson City. See how that works. I got to fix my camera. Hold on here. My camera phone is not in the right position. All right. So I'll be checking the chat from time to time. And if I do see a question, I'll try to answer. But I can't promise anything. Okay. Some people might say, dude, it's already 4 minutes past. You making me wait 4 minutes. I could have eaten 2 sandwiches. All right. All right. All right. I know. Okay. Where's my glasses? Uh-huh. I can't nap without glasses because I'm getting old. And it's safety. Yeah. Oh, this Jefferson City is pretty good. Mm-hmm. This particular piece is pretty good. Now watch me snap it in half. After saying that, I jinxed myself. This is a Mike Tufts custom bopper. You can't have it. Nope. Mm-hmm. So there you go. It's a hand axe, okay? It's one of them 2 million-year-old hand axes. I'm all done. That's it. Okay? See it? It's got this on there, so it's not correct, right? Someone's gonna say, "Wait a second, that's not correct." I mean, this side's okay, but this side's got the little. Okay, I'll take off the little. Okay, and I'll make a hand axe. I saw that Donnie Dust got thousands of views on his hand axe. Yeah, thousands, like 50,000 views. And this is a lot longer than this one. But most hand axes are about the size of your hand, okay? The small ones like this. I took away that square edge. All right, and that's all you need. And then you got the rounded spot part on the back. Now in Texas, they call these Kerrville knives. It's a hand axe. What is it used for? I think it is used for cracking skulls, human skulls and otherwise. Right? I think these are skull crackers. You can use them for cutting meat. You can use them for sawing. You can use them for all kinds of stuff. But there's other ways to do these things without ruining your stone tool. I think these were skull crackers that they would keep them in their pouches for when the time comes for self-defense. You want something that can not only crack a skull but slice, slice and dice in a fight, and something that won't cut your own hand when you're fighting. Fighting is chaos. You don't want to be cutting yourself with this. Okay, so you back it up you back your hand up against this nice smooth part. You're not going to injure yourself. That's counter to what you need to be doing in a fight. Okay, and you can't grab it out of someone's hand easily. You know what I'm saying? You try to grab it out of someone's hand, you're going to get all cut up. In my view, if you want my view, okay, you don't have to listen to me. In my view, these are weapons, all of them. And if they were used for something else, it was just secondary use. Can I borrow your self-defense knife? I don't know, dude. But I need to cut the umbilical cord. My son was just born. Oh, okay, here, cut the umbilical cord with it. Yeah. Thanks. I don't know what happened to mine. Yeah, no problem, dude. But if if someone says, "Can I borrow that to cut some roots and dig up some plant?" Are you nuts? I'm not gonna let you cut up a bunch of roots with my self-defense knife. No way. Okay, so I think that's what they were used for: self-defense or offense, whatever whatever weapons. Okay, so what am I going to make out of it besides a hand axe? I don't know. Should I offer it in the auction just like this? Maybe. Some people like to collect these. I think what I'll do is I might just do that. it's not that common to find something that is of this shape with a nice round back to it. You know what I mean? So let me put this aside. It has but the markings on it with the magic marker. I might be able to flake past that, but I need to do it off camera. It's a little bit tricky. All right, so let's see what this does. If it's a heat treat, it should go pretty fast. It looks like a heat treat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Alrighty, let's see. It looks like it's good. It looks like there's no crackiola pudding in this stuff. Sometimes it's got cracks in it. Sometimes it's got little pockets of cortex. It doesn't have any cortexiola pudding or crackiola pudding. Yeah, this looks nice. As far as consistency, and it might be nice and nappable too. So far, so good. It looks like it's the heat treat worked out really well. Whoever heat treated this did a good job. Yes, yes. This kind of chart doesn't require much heat in most cases. What does that mean? I think you can heat this at less than 400 degrees and get a good result. You know, like 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 4 hours and get a good result. You don't need to go up past 400 degrees on this stuff. In my experience, I don't go up past 400 degrees on this kind of stuff unless the first heat treatment round didn't work or didn't work that well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this, yeah. This is surprisingly pleasant and cooperative. Yes, it is. There is a little patch in here that I can see is going to give me a little bit of trouble because it did step fracture, and there's some inclusions and stuff. But that's to be expected with this Georgia stuff, this Flint River from Georgia, Coastal Plains chert. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And if you want to buy this, it's available from Jeff Head, Head. He's on Facebook. And if you can't find him anywhere, just email me, and I'll give you a direct link. I'm pretty sure I have a direct link saved up, so it shouldn't take me too long to give you the information. We all need to know where to buy quality rocks from, so I tried to share out that information. He's got large pieces too. I like working these smaller pieces, but he's got large pieces also. For those very rare people out there that like working big stuff, shut up, dude. It's not rare. Everybody likes the big stuff. You're the only dork that likes the small stuff. Yeah, anyone that likes the small stuff are dorks. Yeah, I know. I am a dork. Mm-hmm. Not only that, but you're a liar too. All right, I lied. Yeah, I lied about the guys that like the big points are in the minority. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're the majority. But oh well, you're not going to see a big point this time. You can go to other channels to see the big points. Yeah, don't be just hanging around on my channel. You're loitering. Don't be loitering around on my channel. I got laws against loiterers. Yeah. Didn't you see the sign on my channel? No loitering? You didn't see it? Dang it. I got to post it more clearly. Yeah, go ahead, dude. They'd be the only one on YouTube that's got a no loitering sign on their channel. Because it's stupid. What if I don't like loitering around on my channel? It's not stupid if I don't like it. Stupid because you're not going to get no views, guys. Yeah, maybe not. We'll see. Time will tell. People congregate in their own little communities anyway. I've been on YouTube for a long time, and people are just barely. Some people are just barely knowing that I exist. I've been on YouTube for about 15 years now, right? Well, I haven't been posting that long. I don't think 14 years. I've been posting for 14 years, and some people still don't know who I am on YouTube, as far as napping goes. They might have heard of me, but they never saw one of my videos because they've been living under rocks. And they say, no, I've seen your videos. And every time I see a video of yours, I feel like just throwing up somewhere. Like if I'm driving, I got to put my head out the window, get some fresh air, and then I might throw up. Yeah, I know. I know. I've heard it all before. Yeah. What am I going to do here? What am I going to do? I had this one guy, he says, I like watching your videos, but you're hard to listen to. And I said, just turn the volume down. You'd be okay. He says, yeah, I did that. It was much better. I said, told you. I told you. Just, if you don't like me, just turn the volume off or down so you can just barely hear anything. Yeah. Yep. I don't want no one to be unhappy. Yeah, well, if you stop me from loitering, I'll be unhappy. Okay, well, all right. I take that back. I do want some of you to be unhappy because I don't want no loitering. Yeah. Some people, loitering makes me happy because I love loitering. I love to loiter. I'm a loiterer. I think they call them lurkers. Lurking's not that bad. Yeah. Sometimes the lurkers will appear suddenly, and most of them are lurking just because they're pressed for time. They don't really want to comment and stuff. Some of them are hate watching. Yeah. Oh, I can't stand this dude. What is he up to now? Let's go check to see what this contemptible person's up to. So they watch my channel because they think I'm contemptible. Yeah. So they'll hate watch and see what contemptible things is he talking about now. They'll watch the whole video and say, okay, well, that was terrible. That was really terrible. Now I got plenty of stuff to talk about that was terrible to my other buddies that hate watch videos as well. Yeah, they have little chats about what did you guys hate watching today? Oh, I got a bunch of stuff that I hate watched. Just wait for me to tell you. Yeah. So they all gather around with their popcorns, discuss what they hate. Why do they need popcorns? Oh, because there's lots of drama. Yeah, you didn't know? If you watch these guys, they love drama. So what am I doing here? I'm trying to go really, really fast. Why? I don't know. I don't really feel like explaining every little detail. Sometimes I just want to get some napping done without explaining everything. Yeah. Sometimes. I know I'm supposed to be explaining this because that's what people like. I know. But sometimes I don't know why I do things. Why am I doing this or that? I don't know. After thousands of hits, it just seems like the good thing to do at the time. After doing this for years and years, it, napping in a certain spot just feels right. I don't know. That's it. Not every flake is planned. Sometimes I go, whoa, that was unexpected and lucky and awesome and fortuitous. And then sometimes I hit a flake that didn't do what I wanted at all. Not at all. That just totally didn't do anything. Yeah. So, what do you want me to do? Explain how I did the thing that I don't know how I did it. I don't know why I did it. Okay, well, explain it. Well, I just said I don't know how I did it. Well, explain it. Explain how you don't know how it did it so that I know that next time I don't know how it did it, it's because I didn't know. I suppose that makes sense. Yeah. I don't think it does it because you don't know how it does it. I think sometimes it's just bad luck or you overlooked something. And if you overlook something, you don't really know, okay, what did I miss? If I knew what I missed, I should have changed the sign. If I knew why it did it that way, I wouldn't have done it. Yeah. Anyways. What are you talking about, dude? I can't even follow what you're saying because you're all over the place. Your ADHD. I talk about it, your ADHD, to my other buddies that hate watch stuff. I hate your ADHD, so I got lots to talk about this time around. Yeah, I hope you have lots to talk about. Because I got severe spaz attacks. Yeah, so to speak. I'll just do stuff I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. I think what happens here is I'm just getting nervous because it's starting to get to the point where it's the sweat stage. This is a sweat stage when it can break at any time. Am I done yet? I still got 20 minutes of napping. Still got 20 minutes to nap. I try to wrap this up in the last 15 minutes as far as catching up with the chat. Are you guys talking about smoking stuff? Administrator says Patrick's loopy today. Must be the Jimson weed or whatever he's been up to lately. No. I don't even know what that is. Besides, I can just go to the dispensary and get 100% top quality stuff. We have dispensaries here in Vermont. So I can go in there and get the best stuff of any variety. Yeah. I mean, it's going to cost a lot, but hey, we have dispensaries here in Vermont. It's legal. I can go get anything I want. I don't need to be sneaking around. Everything is all above board here as far as that goes. I don't do any of that. I don't do any of that funny stuff, funny weed stuff. Mm-hmm. Nope, no. I got enough problems as it is. Trying to think straight. Yeah. I don't need no secondary impairments. Yeah, but dude, it's not an impairment, it's an enhancement of life. Okay, well, some people, I guess, benefit, but not me. No. I'm neurodivergent. I start introducing weird chemicals into my brain, and it doesn't affect me in the same way as everybody else. No, I don't enjoy it. Mm-hmm. If I'm off at La La Land, it's not a release or an enjoyment for me. No, La La Land just feels like La La Land. It doesn't feel like I don't know, Disneyland. I guess some people feel like they're in Disneyland. I don't feel like I'm in Disneyland at all. I feel like I've just descended into the first level of Hades or something. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to set up the edges right now for some bold flakes. I want to thin it down, but I don't want to thin it down with little bitty flakes. I want big flakes. Yes, I do. That's one thing that I'll do that is on the big side of things. I like big flakes. I don't like big points, but I like big flakes. I mean, I like to have and own big points. Making them is not something I enjoy. This size here is more manageable, right? What size is it? I don't know, 3 or 4 inches. It's 3 and 3/8. Yeah, good manageable size. This size and smaller. Yep. I like when I knock off these big old flakes. Yep. So I try to set up the edges for those. How do you set up the edges? I just make sure there's no weak spots. Sometimes I gotta abrade it a lot to get rid of the weak spots because it doesn't abrade that well. You know, some rocks will get dull faster than others. This one doesn't get dull all that fast. It can be good because if you've got it sharpened up and it doesn't dull all that fast, it's good for cutting. I mean, good for long-term cutting. It's all good for cutting, but if it's got a durable edge, it'll cut longer. See, that's what I like. Can I flick the flake? Will you allow me to flick it? There. I don't do this. There's got to be a trick to flicking these flakes proficiently, right? Doesn't do it. See that? What's the secret? Let's see. I try to hit the platform. Yeah. All right. There you go. I can knock the flake off. I'm just not a good flake flicker, I guess. Yeah. Let's see. How can I flick this one? I'm just gonna knock it. There it goes. Are you entertained? Is it sufficient entertainment? No. All right. Just continue to hate watching. Yeah. I'm trying to get it thin with big flakes. I do risk snapping it in half when I do that, though. But you know, I don't care. Yeah. It's always the sweat stage. I've learned to tolerate or, you know, expect to have a sweat stage every time. I suppose I could change my whole Flintknapping philosophy and not risk a lot at this stage and just make them thicker. Yeah. I think it'd be better on my nerves too. Yeah. Reduce the stress. Let's see, how much more time do I got? I got 15 more minutes. I should be able to get plenty far along on this one as far as thinning. Maybe even start some notches on it. Yeah, it is cooperative. Except if I try to do too much, if I try to bite off more than I can chew, I run into some problems. I tried flakes that are longer than my skill will allow. Why do I do this? I can't see. See, you can see with this light. This lighting arrangement is for you to be able to see better, and but it doesn't allow me to see better. I've got to tilt it like this in order to see. I got a shadow where I'm working. I see a shadow. I can't really see very well, but you can see it. I want you to be able to see the edge and the arrangement and the angles and the positioning, but it makes it hard for me to see because I've got shadows. Anyways, I'm getting used to this lighting, so it's not that bad as it used to be. I do have to change this up eventually. I spent maybe an hour researching lighting the other day, and I bought some new lights. Or no, I didn't buy the new lights. I bought some diffusers for the lights to diffuse the light on my light tree. So it's not like burning my eye sockets because the lights are pointed at me, and my eyes burn as it is, and I have some kind of weird light sensitivity. So I put the diffusers on there, and they work pretty good. But this light down here still bugs me. I got to come up with a different arrangement. Anyways, I'll eventually change it up. Hopefully for the better. Ooh, that was risky, but it worked. See that? Look at that flake. Interesting, huh? Look how thin that is. It didn't break in half. Being that thin and not breaking in half, that means it's got some flexibility to this type of material, which is good. What can I do with this flake? I don't know. I can pretend it's some kind of effigy. It's got an eyeball on it. See the little eye? Right there. It's a kiwi bird. Yeah. See? Isn't that what they look like? Kind of, sort of. Anyways. Why aren't you serious, dude? You're just goofing around all the time. I spent years being very serious, and it got me all depressed. Yeah. Humor is the cure for depression. Yeah. You didn't know? Now you know. I told my sons that. They go, I don't think so, Dad. The scientists would have figured that out a long time ago. I think what the scientists are trying to figure out is how to make money for the pharmaceuticals companies. That's what they're employed to do. They're not employed to figure out the cures. They figure out how to make money. Let's see here. What about the people that don't have any sense of humor? Yeah, that's a problem. That's one of the things about humanity that is definitely a problem. Some people don't have any sense of humor. I think they're not as susceptible to depression, ironically. It seems like people who appreciate humor are also quite susceptible to depression. It's ironic. Yeah. But you gotta lighten up. If you're prone to depression, you can't be hanging around with serious people who have no sense of humor. It rubs off on you. That non-humorous type of situation where everything's all mostly people are disgusted at this and disgusted at that. So you're in the habit of being disgusted at everything, and it makes the depression a lot worse. Mm-hmm. I'm losing my symmetry. Dang it. I got some cracks in the edge too. There's some cracking. Unfortunately, I'm getting cracking along the edge here. It's a different consistency than the other side. And I'm getting some wonkiness and cracking. I'm not able to thin the tip down as well on this side. Where is it? Where am I? Turn. This side here is all kind of crackly. I'm not able to thin it as good as the other side. But I'm gonna brush it a lot and try to get rid of some of that width. I'm gonna hammerstone it down and then re-chip it. I can hammerstone it with the abrader if the abrader is tough enough. I'm already losing quite a bit off of this one. It's getting ready to snap in half. Anyways, I should be able to fix this edge here. It's all kind of messed up. The other side is doing well. Yeah, it's doing quite well. I mean, I'm going to do a final chipping on it. Of course, it's not done, but it's going better on that side than this other side. This side is getting all crunchy, and you can kind of tell why, because it's got little patches of chalk, or not chalk, but limestone type of inclusions. A little bit chalky almost. Luckily, it is a heat treat, so when I hit it, at least it does something. Yeah, if I had to wrestle with tough stone at this situation, it would be more of a sweat stage. I would have to hit harder. Yeah, that's not a good option. It's already risky hitting hard to get big flakes. You need to hit pretty hard to get a big flake. That's already dangerous. If you have to hit even harder because it's tough stone, that's even more dangerous. Some people might say, yeah, well, if it's tough stone, just don't hit it as hard, dumbass. Yeah, but I like the large flakes. And if I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. I laugh, but it's true. If I'm not liking it, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, and it's a lot of work. But I got to have some benefit to all this work. destination's got to be nice. And part of the destination is seeing the big bold flakes. That's part of my destination. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'll do some sequential flaking sometimes, but that's normally not how I do it. Small sequential flakes. I normally don't do it that way. I got to get back into the Cody's though. Cody complex points. I've taken a break from the Cody complex because it was just getting on my nerves. I'll get back into it soon. As you can tell in the auction, I don't have very many Scotch Bluffs or Edens lately, or anything related to Cody. I could do Cody knives too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's going okay. I just end up, as usual, I end up creating step fractures and stuff near the tip because I'm afraid to hit it too hard. That's typical of me. As one of my long-standing issues is that a lot of step fracturing on the tips. I've been working on that for years. Every time I try to improve it, I end up snapping off the tips. So I got to do something totally different. I don't know what I'm going to do. Apparently, I need to do something totally different. I've tried almost everything to not step fracture the tips. I've changed the tool size. I've changed sometimes the positioning of the stone. I've tried not looking. I've tried looking extremely carefully. I've tried different materials for the tools. It's just something in my brain says, don't hit it that hard, dude. Even though it's going to step fracture. I think my brain says it's better to step fracture than to break the tip off. That might be it. One of the things that really gets me angry is breaking the tip off. I'd rather have a step fracture at the tip than breaking it off. Any day of the week, 7 days a week. Yeah. Or however the expression goes. There's no expression for that, dude. All right, fine. Okay, I'm getting there. Is it getting thinner? I think it's getting thinner. It better be getting thinner for this. All the sweating I'm doing right now. Okay, come on. I don't want to smack it. Let's see. In that case, the edge wasn't strong enough. Okay. I'm willing to hit it hard, but then when the edge isn't strong enough, it doesn't do it. What did it do? Dang it, that was weird. It just crushed, and that was even more heavily abraded than before. I need to pick out one of the step fractures. That's all. That's all I gotta do. Just pick it out. Stop trying to nap it out. Yeah, I should have thought of that before, huh? Yeah, there it goes. It did it by picking at it. No, there's still some left. There's a remnant. Remnants are almost as bad as incipients. Dang it. I'm losing the tip. See, it's starting to get too pointy. I'm trying to get it thin, and it's just barely getting there. Maybe I should just leave it for later. It's 3:45. Yes, I can leave it for later. I don't have to finish it. It's got some translucency. Let's see. I can see the translucency, but you can't see. The light's behind that I can see. But if I put the light behind it for you guys, no, please see that. Nice. That's what's good about this Coastal Plains chart. It's got good translucency and it's got these swirls in it. Yeah. When it starts getting thin, you can see everything. And I left the base thicker. Yeah. See that? I recommend you, as a new person, not to leave the base that thick because it takes a little bit of finesse to not snap it in half when it's got a thick base. But I'm being very careful. You know what I'm saying? If you thin it down so that the middle, if you thin down the bottom so that the middle is the thickest, that's the safest. If this down here at the bottom is the thickest, it's not that safe. I risk snapping it right across here or somewhere else when I leave the base thick. Right, so the flake scarring is pretty good. I still have some bold flakes going across the surface the way I like it. See that? There's not a lot of little bitty flakes. Now, some people like a lot of little bitty flakes. That's fine. Perfectly fine. Just do what you like. Get the end result that you like. That way you can stay napping and not get burnt out. If I do stuff I don't like too much, I can start getting burnt out. Like those Cody points were starting to burn me out. So I got to take a break and then get back to them. But yeah, I like this size. I also like little bitty arrowheads. In case you don't know. All right. Some people just tune in for the napping and they're brand new, and then they don't know that I like the small points. And once they find out, they change the channel. Because they go, that's lame, dude. You're so lame. Why are you like only the small points? Well, you got small brain. I like small and smooth. And they say, yeah, you got a small, smooth brain, dude. How did you guess? Did you learn that all? Did you figure that all by yourself? Did you figure that out all by yourself? Yeah. You did, huh? Okay, I think I got a piece of stone up in my hair. I can feel it. No? Anyways, sometimes the stone will jump up on top of my head. Little pieces of flakes and stuff. Where am I at on the chat? Someone says very nice. Thank you, thank you. Well, sell it to Ralph. He'll buy anything. Ralph, you heard right? I'll just sell it to you. No. That's funny. Okay, where am I? Sal says, "No wonder I don't make big points." Yeah, man. Are you in the small point club? Welcome. Yeah. We could use some more people in here. All I can hear is crickets and a little bit of whining. Might be a couple other guys in there too. We're all going to be like, you know, fussing about trying to make large points. Bill Taylor's here. I love the Coastal Plains chart. Jeff does it good job of heat treating it too. Yeah, Jeff does a very good job of heat treating because he went through a long stage of experimenting. He was asking me questions too during that stage. He went through like 2 months of experimenting with heat treating the Flint River, and he's gotten pretty good at it. Brutus is here. I do believe Pat said it was Coastal Plains. Yeah, the Flint River is a Coastal Plains variety. This swirl stuff in the Flint River is a Coastal Plains chert variety. Yeah. Ed Gould says, I got a half dozen or more nice points coming from Jake Anderson. Jake is making you a bunch of points? Coastal Plains? Awesome. Yeah, Coastal Plains and Flint River is the same thing. I mean, it's not the same thing, but you know what I mean? It's from the same area. And Flint River is a Coastal Plains variety. Yeah. And this one particular piece is heat treated. See, that's why trying to get good at knowing what it's called can run into problems. Because some might say it's Flint River. Some might say it's Coastal Plains. No, it's Swirl Chert from Georgia. Guess what? It's all the same. We're talking about the same stuff. Those three terms, they're all the same material, basically. It has variations in it, yeah, but it's basically the same stuff. Yeah. So all you need to do is think about it in terms of translucent yellow. Yeah. That's it. What do you got? Translucent yellow. Is it heat treat? Yeah. Well, how would you rate it on a scale of 1 to 10? This one, personally, it's like a 7 or 8. It's up there in terms of nappability. So that's what, in the perfect world, and the way I talk to people, the way I like to talk to people is I like to rate the stone on a scale of 1 to 10. I don't care what it is. I just like to rate it. What is it? A 9 or 10? Is it an 8? Have you noticed anything that's a 10? No. I have not seen any stone. Well, I don't know. That green stone was close to a 10 because of the color that adds an extra dimension onto the ratings. So that green stone that I napped a point out of in the last auction, I guess that was point number 1. That's close to a 10 as far as material rating on a scale of 1 to 10. And that's how I like to judge stone on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, no one does it that way. Nobody, not even in the chat, not even in comments, not even in videos. So I'm all by myself in a desert of trying to rate these things on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm like one plant that's sitting up in the desert, just waving in the wind, by myself. Ed Gould says, I think 7 this time. Gulf Coast Knapping says, gotta love coastal Alabama is the best. Various colors, but I'm biased. Yeah. I know. Mm-hmm. Sal says, I believe I have some coastal plains that's white. You do? That's amazing. Bill Taylor says, I think there's a difference between Florida, Alabama, and Georgia. Maybe. Depends if you're on the borders, though. Right? I mean, if you're right on the border and the chert formation is split between 2 states, what do you call that? The state line goes right between right through the formation. Let's see. Well, that never happens? Let's see here. Gulf Coast Knapping says there are different formations. Each are called coastal plains, but each formation varies drastically. Yeah. Yep. Jake knows. But as far as this yellow stuff, yellow translucent, it's might as well just call it yellow translucent instead of trying to figure out, is it Flint River? Is it coastal plains? Is it swirl? That kind of thing. It's the end of the live stream. Yeah, in 5 minutes, I'm going to be saying bye-bye. This is the end of the live stream. I have not been making it, says Roy. Yeah, you got to ask Google. Hey, Google, or hey, Siri, or whatever. What time is it my time when it's 2 p.m. Eastern so I can make the Wednesday live stream? And then they'll answer you. You can get mad at Siri or at Google. They don't care. Just get angry at them. Say, you better give me the right time right now. Let's see. Marty says, I made a comment earlier, Patrick, about how you could just have a set price for your points and get what you want for them. That would be an option to get away from the whole bidding conundrum. Yeah, I could set a price, but I usually set the price too low. And I never price them the way I think. I've learned that what I think it costs is not what people are willing to pay. I price my points according to how much pain, labor, and suffering I have for the point. Not the way it looks as far as material goes. It's the pain and suffering. I will price it according to the pain and suffering. And people don't pay for that. Okay? So I have to I have to forget all the pain and suffering and then look at it in terms of, okay, is it a rare material? Is it the shape people like? Is it this and that? It's totally foreign to me to price it that way. I can never figure out what people like in terms of type and color and thinness or whatever. That's why I auction them. Because if I were to price it, I price it on pain and suffering. If a point took me a lot of time, a lot of suffering, I'm going to price it really high. But believe it or not, those points that I price high, they don't look like I suffered through those. Yeah. So it doesn't solve my problem to set the price myself. In fact, it makes it worse. I'm surprised a lot of times by how much people pay for items. Like that green point, I wouldn't have priced it at the price that it sold. Because for me, I didn't suffer through the knapping. Yeah. If I had a ton of that stuff, I wouldn't be suffering all the time. And the stuff that I suffer through, it doesn't sell for much, especially if I end up like snapping some of the barbs I've been doing. No, some of the notches I've been doing, I've been having a hard time doing the narrow notch because I'm trying to get used to that. It takes time to get used to it again. And I'll snap one side, the other side will come out nice, and I'll suffer through it, and I want to charge a lot for that particular piece. But it doesn't make any sense because people are not going to buy for a high price an item that's got snapped entry on the narrow entry notching. Right? And I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's the way I tend to think about how should I price these things. I have no idea what other people like in terms of other qualities. And sometimes I price them way too high. Like if I, for stuff that I think is really nice, but other people don't think it's really nice. I mean, I've tried it before. I've tried pricing. I can do it, but all my prices are going to be low. I tend to just go low, which is good for you guys, but it's not good for me. Yeah. Roy says, well, I may be back into Flintknapping. I took a break because I need an income. So now I'm working and can hopefully afford materials that look nicer than the broken or thick glass pieces I have. I see. Ken says, let's see. What are you guys talking about? Oh, yeah, Jake does some fine work. Yes, yes. I have set prices for my points, but I also get into the problem where I've had this happen before. I mean, your comments are fine, Marty. Your comments are fine. I'm not criticizing your comments. I'm just telling you what has happened to me in the past and how my brain works. I've had points priced beforehand, and I'm about to sell it to somebody, or it's one of the last ones available, but they've, I still have the item up, let's say posted somewhere, and someone wants to buy it. I said, okay. And then right after that, someone else says, have you sold that one yet? Because I'll buy it no matter how much it is. And, that period of time between where somebody wants it and when I take it off or put a sold on it or whatever, someone might come in and say, how much is it? Because I'll pay for whatever it is. You didn't sell it for that much, did you? I'll pay for more. And I go, oh, I already told the guy that I'm going to sell it for this price. Really? I mean, I just told you I'd pay anything you want. What am I going to say to the other guy? Am I going to say, well, I'm sorry, someone bid higher than you? Well, how much did he bid? Da-da-da. I'll buy it for more than that. And so I'm sitting there now going, okay, what do I do? If I tell the guy, okay, well, this guy's just bid higher, what do you think? The second guy is going to say, well, wait a second. Is he making this up? Is he telling me someone else bid higher so he can get more money from me? Is that the way you treat a friend? I'm not going to get into that kind of stuff. No. How do I know that happens? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I could just put up. This gets people irritated too. I'd put up a point online somewhere, and I'd say, just send me, PM me for the price. That ticks people off too. Gulf Coast Knapping says, I agree. Let's just call it Yellow Shirt. Yeah. I should end the live stream. Has anyone come in and say, hey, it's a brand new day? Buckskin, Marty says, yeah, I guess if some points are a pain to make, that would be tough to set a reasonable price. I just thought maybe some of your points sell way too low. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but usually I'm very satisfied with the prices that are bid. And I'm trying to learn what people like. I can't learn what people like unless it's a bidding process. Then it starts to sink in. Okay, eventually I'll learn what these prices are, and then maybe I'll be able to set prices later. But I still can't figure it out. In my brain I'll think, oh, this is going to go for more than this one on this auction. I bet you. No, I never know what's going to happen. The pieces I think are going to sell for a lot don't sell for a lot, and some pieces I think, they'll buy it for $10. Yeah, no, sells for a lot more than $10. What's going on? That kind of thing. I still haven't figured it out. Kiefer says, if the point breaks, can you just make a Tonto tip point? Chisel type point where it can deflect off bone, sort of? Yeah, you could do that if you want. Yeah, I've known at least one napper that would, with his hunting points, he would make a chisel tip. Just a short, not a big chisel tip, but he'd flatten it across the top. Yeah, for his own hunting points, he would do that. I know one guy. I think his name was Jesse, actually, but I don't know for sure. I just know that there was one hunter that I met that would do it on purpose. Now you can, if you break it on accident, you can still do it. Roy says, I think $30 for a highly common material stone knife blade that someone can haft themselves or simply frame seems reasonable. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Ken says, we're just being nice. You deserve more for the work. The auction gives buyers a sense of control in a way, and people are more likely to bid. Yeah. If you think of points are going for very little money, this might happen, but I'm not sure. If you think of points going for very little money, just, bid more on it and win the point and then resell it. I've had guys resell my points because they know someone that'll pay more, but they're not watching the auction. They've got buddies that'll pay a lot for a certain type of point, but they're not watching the auction, but you are. So what you do is you buy it and resell it. Yeah, if you think it's going for a low price, obviously you think maybe someone is going to pay more. You can just resell it. It doesn't matter to me if you resell my points. What matters is if you try to sell it as real. Yeah, that ticks everybody off, including me. Let's see here. It's 4:05. I'll stick around for a little while longer since there's a lot of people in the chat. And since I won't be doing channel news. Oh, and I might not be doing the Friday night live stream. I'll be at the Knap-in, and we'll see what my reception is. If my reception is okay, I might do a live stream at the Knap-in. Yeah, I won't use my computer, so I'll have to do the whole thing from my phone. I might not be able to see the comments very well. We'll see what happens. I might just film a bunch of videos instead of doing a live stream. Roy says, I mean, with the average gray, unattractive stuff, but with Jaspers or stuff, there isn't great piles of it. It should be a $50 a point. Depends on if you're paying for delicate, thin, or robust, strong blades. Yeah. The Walmart Bandit could be the title, says Marty. What is that? What are you guys talking about now? Ed Gould says, that's not why I buy. I have never sold one. Yeah, I understand. But if you think something's going for a low price, you can buy and resell it. Roy says, I've asked you how many different types of flint or forms of silica have been worked with. Have I worked with? How many different types of flint or silica? I'm just wondering. Gosh, I've worked with hundreds of different types of stone. And I've gone down to the very lowest quality that I could find for some of my videos, all the way up to the highest quality. So I have a good range of videos with different materials. If it says challenge, rock challenge, a lot of times it's poor quality stuff. And I try to introduce different materials whenever I get a chance. Maybe 200 different types of stone, but I'm probably lowballing it. Significantly different. Some stones are very similar, but significantly different. I would say a couple hundred different types. I guess I'm also including heat treated stuff as significantly different, because raw Brazilian agate compared to heat treat Brazilian agate, I've napped both of those. I consider those two separate things, although they're probably the same in terms of a type of stone. Alrighty. Roy says, maybe on one of these streams I'll show up on time. Roy says, you do awesome work, my friend. Patrick, thank you, thank you. Marty says, I hope you have a good time at the Knap-in, Patrick. Buy lots of rock and brag to us about it on Monday. Oh, yes, I will do that. Ed Gould says, if you can get $1 a week for every video, you could be rich in no time. Yeah, I don't get $1 a week, though. I wish. I do get steady income because I do have a lot of videos that get little bits of income. People watch my back videos, older videos. But I get most of my income from the newer videos. And if you want to know what the amount is, it's like $30 for 10,000 views. If I get 10,000 views in a week, that's $30 on my new videos. I can sometimes get 20,000 views a week. But that's for my new stuff. I got a bunch of old stuff. I get more than $30 a week from those. They add up. There's like maybe 200 videos that I get like 5 cents each or something. I've looked at the analytics and looked back at all my old videos, and not every single. A lot of videos have like 1 cent, 2 cent, 3 cents as far as income. But if I have 100 of those, or maybe even 1,000 are just getting 1 or 2 cents each, it does add up. Hippie Mike is here. See, I told you. Have you been lurking, Hippie Mike, or you just jumped in? I got some weird moss opal that's been shattered, and then it's solid now. Let's see here. All right, I am going to sign off, guys. Hippie Mike just got here. It's over. I mean, it's 11 minutes past the time. I'll send you pictures. Okay, do that. I'm glad I stuck around because if I had ended the live stream sooner, I wouldn't have seen you. It's okay. Roy says it's okay, my friend Patrick. I'm honored. Thank you, thank you. I've been gone, just lurking. Roy's been lurking. Okay. So I think there's no more questions, right? I'm looking back in the chat to see if there's still questions. Yeah, I think I tried to answer all the questions. All right. Okay. I'll see you next time. I might not have a Friday live stream. Okay. I might just post videos. If I have a live stream, it'll have to be from the Knap-in, which might not work very well. I'm not sure how the reception is at the campgrounds, at the Coshocton campgrounds. I've never been there. This will be my first time there. Okay. Ending the live stream in 5 minutes. The chat says, I bet. Hippie Mike, your email again? jackcrafty2 at gmail.com. jackcrafty2 at gmail.com. The number 2. No hyphens, no commas, no spaces, just jackcrafty2 at gmail.com. Oh, Roy Browski is different from Roy Johnson. Yeah, I might have gotten you guys mixed up. Yeah, I think I did, didn't I? All right, we'll see you guys next time. I will be posting at least one video from the Knap-in just to do a little panoramic view. I will do at least one, hopefully more. Yeah, I might not be doing a live stream on Friday. If so, I'll let you know either way. Okay. All right. We'll see you guys later. Take care. Good to see everybody. Bye-bye.